50 Cent and Eminem are officially joining forces, and their target is none other than Jay Z, without holding anything back. They're openly raising major allegations involving shady business dealings, stolen creative credit, award show manipulation, and an alleged string of careers quietly dismantled in the process. This is no longer background chatter. It's beginning to resemble a full-blown industry scandal. 50 Cent is making it clear that Jay Z continues to interfere with his business ventures, even in the present day. Meanwhile, Beyoncé's Cowboy Carter 16 release in 2025 is under renewed scrutiny, and Eminem has been warning for years about the dark, calculated moves that dominate the music industry. Recently, he's been slipping cryptic bars into his tracks, hinting at powerful gatekeepers controlling the game from behind the scenes.
It's the price you pay, when you're early in your career, you feel that you have to listen. And when you buck, they buck harder and they make threats. And those threats are huge ones.
But the controversy doesn't stop there. Beyoncé's name has been dragged deeper into the storm, facing accusations of stealing songwriting credits and allegedly blackballing other women in music. Names like Aaliyah, Mia, Mary J. Blige, and Carrie Hilson are resurfacing. Artists who were on the rise until their momentum abruptly vanished without explanation. Now, Jay Z and Beyoncé's well-documented association with Diddy is reigniting suspicions, prompting more people to question what's truly been going on behind the scenes in the highest levels of the music industry. Jay Z may have sidestepped the Jane Doe lawsuit, but the alleged victim is now making unsettling claims. She suggests she was pressured into silence after certain questionable figures appeared at her doorstep, an intimidation tactic that raises serious concerns.
Oh boy was doing with the Super Bowl, because he was doing like, yeah, go ahead. He was doing some wild, because he was saying that to Eminem that the NFL had the issue with me, and I'm like, well, what's the issue? Why don't I have an issue when I'm becoming a partner in the actual team, but they got an issue with my performance? Right? Makes no sense. You know what I mean?
I was going to get to that later, but since we're here now. And when he says "oh boy" for the audience that I'm talking about Jay Z. This was discussed before. Jay Z told Dr. Dre, just for people who's not up on this, or Eminem, that he didn't want you to perform part of that Super Bowl they had a couple years ago. Why do you think that is?
This has sparked a bigger question. Are Jay Z and Beyoncé truly the flawless power couple they present to the world, or are they masters at concealing controversies behind the scenes? Critics are now wondering if their reign at the top was maintained by stepping over others, and whether 50 Cent and Eminem possess insider knowledge capable of exposing an entire system that has quietly ended artists' careers. For years, speaking out against Jay Z and Beyoncé was considered career suicide. Anyone who tried was met with swift backlash and accusations of being bitter or jealous. But this time, 50 Cent claims to have undeniable receipts. Back in 2023, he alleged that Jay Z used his NFL connections to block him from performing at the Super Bowl halftime show, working behind the scenes to shut the door entirely. The move reportedly backfired when Eminem, unwilling to tolerate such tactics, stood his ground.
Well, I just
threatened,
possibly. Not even threatened. I think it's just when you take the competition from, like, our culture is competitive, man. It is, but I think when it goes past the music itself to blocking things in business, then I don't understand that. Like right now, he's not even competing for a slot. You don't have a new song out that he want to be on the top 10 or top 5, and you still competing. It don't make sense. Like, what are we competing for? What's the goal? Like this even, like, a lot of even a lot of the competitive stuff, or what we would call it beef, right? It changed. That terminology changed when when it's Biggie and Tupac, because we start saying the things that people would say that cause beef in the environment.
Right.
When before that, they called it babbling in our culture.
Right.
Because that's what it is until it turns into some street shit. So when you're not competing for those things anymore, and you start looking and you're going, so what was the problem? You can't exactly remember what the problem was. That's what went through with you.
Yet, that single act of defiance revealed just how far Jay Z was allegedly willing to go to keep 50 Cent out of the spotlight, offering a rare glimpse into the high-stakes power plays happening far from the public eye. Fast forward to 50 Cent's recent sit-down on Talk with Flea featuring Cameron, and once again, he's putting Jay Z under the spotlight. According to 50, Jay Z is still allegedly moving in questionable ways behind the scenes, not just in the music industry, but deep inside corporate boardrooms as well. What makes this even more striking is 50's claim that Jay Z has already proven his power and influence, yet is still, allegedly, working to sabotage his business ventures purely out of spite, refusing to let old tensions go. But it doesn't stop there. Now, 50 Cent and Eminem appear to be joining forces in a big way, claiming they're ready to expose what they describe as full-scale Grammy rigging. 50 is pointing directly at Jay Z, accusing him of leveraging his marriage to Beyoncé as a strategic advantage to secure top awards. Meanwhile, Eminem has long maintained that the Grammys operate like a pay-to-win system, where genuine artistry takes a back seat to influence money and politics.
Our culture is competitive, man.
Right.
It is, but I think when it goes past the music itself to blocking things in business, then I don't understand that. Like right now, he's not even competing for a slot. You don't have a new song out that he want to be on the top 10 or top 5, and you still competing.
When Beyoncé finally secured Album of the Year for Cowboy Carter, not everyone was applauding. Whispers began circulating that Jay Z had once again pulled strings behind the scenes. This came just a year after he stood on the Grammy stage, openly criticizing the Recording Academy for allegedly snubbing Beyoncé. The moment was bizarre. Fans pointed out that he was accepting an award while condemning the very organization that had just honored him, a contradiction that made his speech feel staged, calculated, and even insincere. People started questioning, if the Grammys are truly that biased, why even attend? Why not make a statement by walking away entirely, proving you don't need their validation instead of appearing to beg for it on stage? That moment sparked a much louder conversation. Are the Carters genuinely stacking trophies based on talent, or are the victories fueled by blackmail, political maneuvering, and high-dollar deals happening far from the public eye? Industry insiders have long claimed the Grammys are less about artistry and more about backroom politics, alliances, and secret agreements. One of the most consistent and outspoken critics of this system has been Eminem. For years, he has argued that the entire awards process is a sham, and he meant it.
So I think they still harbor some energy towards me.
You think you were purposely left out of the ad?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think that they were saying the NFL had some issues with me that I don't know what those issues are. Like, what is the issue? You start looking at, that's not mine, that's theirs, they harbor it, right? But when you look at, M is looking at the entire legacy.
Yeah.
The whole thing, like with M, Dre, and myself, like I'm a shady aftermath. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's so much G in it, Junior Records.
Right.
They forget that I'm M and Dre's art.
After vowing never to return to the ceremony, he's kept his word. But his stance isn't rooted in bitterness over losses. Eminem has openly said that if another artist released a better album than his, he would give them full respect. What fuels his frustration is the way the Grammys exploit his name. According to him, they plaster his face on promotional material, create the illusion that he's a top contender, and use that hype to boost ratings, only for him to be shut out completely once the night arrives. It's all smoke and mirrors. And when asked if joining the Grammy voting committee could ever convince him to return, he didn't hesitate. His answer was no. His reasoning. In his words, The whole thing's rigged and votes don't mean a thing. Meanwhile, 50 Cent is echoing that sentiment and taking it further, claiming Jay Z's trophy collection has little to do with music and everything to do with influence, networking, and calculated leverage. According to 50 Cent, Jay Z has been stacking Grammy wins primarily because of his marriage to Beyoncé. He claims the Recording Academy fully understands the arrangement. When Jay and Bey show up, they bring cameras, headlines, and massive ratings. In that scenario, handing them awards becomes a strategic move.
And you didn't know if you wanted it for the recognition or the trophies, but then what's the difference? You know, and that Grammys pretty much suck the blood of artists and nominate them, have them come to the shows. And
which they do. They do it every year, yeah. And I'm just tired of seeing it. And for whatever reason, it's like they're always pitching this hint that you might win Album of the Year, which used to be a big deal. I don't think it's a big deal now.
Not necessarily a recognition of unmatched artistry. The formula is simple. Keep nominating them, keep awarding them, and ensure the power couple attends, guaranteeing maximum publicity for the show. But 50 didn't stop at subtle hints. During a recent appearance on the Flagrant podcast, he pushed even further. He stated outright that Jay Z's entire Grammy collection and much of his influence have less to do with raw talent and more to do with his marriage to Beyoncé. Even more explosively, 50 suggested their relationship might operate as a business contract, maintained for image, strategic partnerships, and the power it projects in the industry. This claim aligns with long-standing whispers from insiders who allege that both Jay Z and Beyoncé have intentionally blocked other artists to ensure no one else outshines them. The idea, according to these rumors, is to maintain their dominance at award shows and keep the spotlight firmly fixed on them. Then there's the unsettling story involving Beyoncé's former bodyguard, Uncle Ron.
Well, that vote is fake as f***. That's not a real vote. That's not a real vote. They give it to who they want to give it to. They give it to their darlings.
Cowboy Carter. Beyoncé.
Before his death from pneumonia, he publicly claimed to have receipts, concrete evidence that Jay and Bey had destroyed careers, sabotaged rising stars, and manipulated the industry to secure their throne. His death came not long after these revelations, sparking intense speculation among fans and observers. And his account is not the only one making waves. There's also Jaguar Wright's explosive commentary, which has added an entirely new layer to this ongoing storm, right? In all of this, Jaguar Wright, once a backup singer for Jay Z, has transformed into one of his most vocal and unrelenting critics. She's been dropping heavy allegations, claiming that people close to Jay, like Harlem legend Big L, either mysteriously lost their lives or saw their careers vanish right as Jay's star began to rise. Big L's story is still one of hip-hop's most tragic mysteries. In the early 1990s, he was widely recognized as one of Harlem's most gifted lyricists, a freestyle master with a growing reputation on the streets. Signing with Columbia Records, he dropped a debut album that drew serious attention. Even after Columbia parted ways with him, Big L wasn't done. He launched his own label, setting the stage for a major comeback. It was during this pivotal moment that Dame Dash, co-founder of Rockefeller Records, began taking interest. Big L was on the verge of breaking through on a massive scale when, on February 15, 1999, he was shot and killed in a Harlem drive-by. The case remains unsolved, with no arrests or definitive answers. Jaguar Wright has openly voiced her belief that Jay Z might have had some level of involvement, a claim that has only fueled ongoing suspicions surrounding his rise to power. From one legend's mysterious downfall to another's complicated rivalry, the focus shifts to DMX. Known for his raw energy and fearless authenticity, DMX was one of the few rappers, alongside 50 Cent, who confronted Jay Z directly. DMX often described Jay as bitter, competitive, and operating with hidden agendas. When Jay Z assumed the role of president at Def Jam in 2004, tensions hit a boiling point. At that time, DMX was one of Def Jam's biggest forces, having delivered 5 consecutive #1 albums between 1998 and 2003, a record-breaking achievement that few in hip-hop could match. But when it came time for DMX to release his 6th album, Year of the Dog, again, he claimed Jay Z deliberately pushed back its launch to clear the lane for his own highly anticipated return. In DMX's eyes, it was a textbook power play, calculated and all about maintaining control. "The game is rigged," he said, pointing to the behind-the-scenes politics that have long shaped the industry. The drama didn't stop there. In 2005, DMX dropped The Industry, a blistering track that pulled no punches in exposing the manipulative games and shady alliances operating behind closed doors. What's most striking is how much of what DMX revealed back then still rings true today. Even Irv Gotti, someone deeply connected in music's inner circles, confirmed the sentiment, saying Jay-Z was openly jealous of DMX. Irv recounted how Jay and his mentor, Lear Cohen, would laugh behind the scenes, certain DMX would never reach stardom until X proved them wrong with unstoppable success. Jay-Z's name also surfaces repeatedly in the story of Beanie Sigel. Beanie has openly stated it often felt like invisible hands were holding him back. He claimed Jay-Z would time his own album drops to coincide with Beanie's releases, strategically overshadowing his work and keeping his commercial numbers from climbing too high. It was as if Beanie was only allowed to rise to a certain level, never enough to surpass Jay-Z's dominance. While Beanie admitted his own legal troubles impacted his career, he has insisted Jay-Z's actions were far from coincidence. Every move, he says, was meticulously planned to protect Jay-Z's standing. And as the pattern emerges, it becomes harder to ignore the whispers suggesting that Beyoncé herself may not be completely removed from these behind-the-scenes maneuvers. Some fans still cling to the idea that Beyoncé is simply Jay-Z's puppet, but that theory falls apart under closer scrutiny. There's no way someone of her influence and longevity could stand beside him for decades without being directly involved in shaping strategy. If anything, the pair have allegedly been running the industry as a unified force, clearing out anyone they perceive as competition and maintaining their dominance at all costs. One striking example comes from Beyoncé's transition from Destiny's Child into her solo career. Around this time, Jay-Z allegedly convinced producer Rich Harrison to leave rising star Amiri, who was gaining significant momentum and was rumored to be a legitimate threat to Beyoncé's market position. Amiri's hit One Thing carried a unique, infectious style, one that fans claim was closely mirrored in Beyoncé's Crazy in Love after Harrison's shift in allegiance. Then there's the case of Carrie Hilson, whose public conflict with Beyoncé spiraled into a full-scale career setback. According to industry whispers, Carrie's own producers allegedly manipulated her into recording what appeared to be a diss track targeting Beyoncé, effectively setting her up for a massive backlash. Carrie initially denied any malicious intent, but tensions escalated when she reportedly refused to hold a magazine cover featuring both Beyoncé and Jay-Z. The refusal triggered the wrath of Beyoncé's fan base, with some confrontations reportedly occurring in public. Behind the scenes, rumors swirled that Beyoncé had strategically planted insiders within Carrie's circle, individuals who orchestrated the diss track while allowing her to appear uninvolved. By maintaining a public image of innocence, Beyoncé allegedly avoided direct blame while the fallout consumed Carrie's career. Years later, in a 2020 interview, Carrie hinted at the truth, admitting she was pressured into releasing the track and that the threats she received afterward were very real. To some, this wasn't mere celebrity drama. It was calculated career sabotage masked as industry beef. And we definitely can't forget about Kelly's, who openly accused Beyoncé of stealing after sampling her iconic hit, Milkshake, without offering even the smallest acknowledgement or credit. The shocking part is Kellis had no idea it happened until fans alerted her online. She learned about it the same way as the public, through social media. Kellis posted bluntly, I heard about this the same way everyone else did. Nothing is ever as it seems. Some of the people in this business have no soul or integrity, and they have everyone fooled. Later, Kellis took to Instagram to explain the situation in full. She emphasized this wasn't simply a music rights issue. It was about respect and professional courtesy. She noted that as black female artists, there are already few holding true industry power. And with the mutual friends and shared connections she and Beyoncé had, a quick phone call could have resolved everything quietly. "It's not that hard to contact me," Kellis stated, calling it a matter of basic decency. Instead of offering an apology or addressing the controversy, Beyoncé quietly removed the sample from streaming platforms without comment. No statement, no accountability, just silence. Then there's MIA, an artist whose name has faded from mainstream conversations for reasons many say have little to do with talent. Industry whispers claim she was blackballed after clashes with influential figures, reinforcing the pattern of careers derailed when crossing the wrong power players in music's upper ranks. After allegedly rejecting Jay Z's advances, MIA became increasingly outspoken in interviews, claiming that powerful figures in the industry abused their status by placing young, ambitious artists in compromising and unsafe situations. For MIA, the choice was clear. She said no and walked away. But that decision, according to her, carried a heavy price. She suggested that turning down the wrong people triggered a calculated effort to smear her reputation and quietly sideline her career from the mainstream spotlight. Now, looking at the long list of voices speaking out, 50 Cent, Eminem, Kellis, MIA, Jaguar Wright, DMX, Beanie Sigel, and others, the question becomes unavoidable. Are Jay Z and Beyoncé simply protecting their empire, or are they actively working behind the scenes to eliminate competition before it can truly rise? The list of names and stories is far from complete, and the number of artists who have felt the weight of this alleged influence may be larger than most realize. If you think there's someone missing from this conversation, drop their name in the comments below. Are the Carters really untouchable icons, or just masters at concealing the chaos that unfolds in their shadow? Hit the like button, subscribe, and share this video with your crew. For more explosive stories that reveal the hidden side of the music industry, turn on that notification bell so you never miss a drop. Catch you in the next one.